But I have discovered that I believe I am the target, Brian, of an underground, super secret, one of those, what do they call them, those psyops or whatever. Possibly, I'm going to go on record here and making the accusation. She can do with it what she will. Possibly, I'm the target of Raka Khan and revenge for whatever the legal suit is not proceeding. I haven't been served. I don't know anybody that's been served. Perhaps the process servers are all out with COVID, but nevertheless, I believe that she has contacted some kind of underground agency. The KGB may be involved in this, and I'm the target of a plot. On my health, I'm being slowly poisoned, in some way infiltrated. Would you like to hear why I believe this?
I'm fascinated, yes.
All right, well, Sunday, I wanted to get out and work in the yard. And I hadn't been able to do it, and we even got an email. I think you saw it here at the Arcadian Vanguard offices. It was addressed to, I believe, it said, we haven't heard any of Corny's springtime stories, the yard work and the Monroes and the birds and the, well, truthfully, it has been a slow season for stories in that realm because last summer, the incredible heat wave with heat indexes in the 100 and teens, followed by a 6-week drought, ran the deer family off. They said, fuck it, we're getting out of here. And we haven't really seen them come back this spring, except we saw one little cute little fluffy-tailed thing bopping over into the woods the other day. So maybe hopefully now that they're coming back around. No birds tried to build a nest in the garage this spring, possibly because it's jammed to the brimisters with all kinds of Jim Cornette action figures and other Cornette's collectibles merchandise.
Jim Cornette accusations.
Accusations. I was going to say action figures, but that wouldn't be English. But anyway, Sunday, this has been the first time I've had a chance to actually get out and do yard work myself. The Monroes have been over here, and we've got things cleaned up, and of course, we cleaned up from all the storm damage. I've talked about Corky the lumberjack. Our spring stories were the fucking hurricane winds. So there you got them. But nevertheless, I've been also, as you know, or are well aware, over the past 5 weeks, 6 weeks now, if we're not watching the bad wrestling, we're on here recording our podcast where we talk about the good wrestling and the bad wrestling. I'm signing action figures and magazines and DVDs and all these various items we put on sale in April. I hadn't got a chance to get out and work in the yard. So the Monroes come over on Sunday afternoon, Sunday morning actually, and I get out there too. And I pulled some vines and I trimmed some fence row and I sprayed some weed killer in mulch beds, and they're operating all the power tools. You know, the things you got to have the good shoulder to jerk the fucking pull cord on. That's the Monroe's business. And also, if anything sharp, if it goes wrong, well, I'd hate to see them go, but things happen. But anyway, I was hauling stuff and pushing the wheelbarrow around and doing various things. And by the end of Sunday night, as I laid my weary head down, I said, every part of my body hurts. And I also cleaned up much of the garage when I got out of the sun that in the afternoon and moved a bunch of stuff around there. So the neck is sore, shoulder sore, back sore, my feet are hurting. I lay down. I said, boy, this feels good to lay down, right? And I get up the next morning and I'm going to run over to the store early and get some things before it gets busy. And as I get up, I'm a little sore and muscles and everything. And my big toe on my right foot, boy, I stubbed that yesterday, and my work boots, they're a little stiff, whatever the case. And I go over to the store, pick up the heavy stuff Stace can't carry with her bad back, get that all in, move into the garage. I'm moving around okay, little sore in the foot. And then Stacy has to go over to take one of our friends in Versailles over to the dentist. He's having a procedure, which he's not supposed to drive afterward. They give you the good stuff there, and they tell you, well, don't operate any motor vehicles. I said, well, I'm just got a big day of boxing the last bunch of orders, action signing and boxing last action figures to give to the Feather Bottoms for the shipping this week. Boy, it's a landmark day. I'm feeling groovy. And I was feeling groovy about 11 or 12 o'clock. By about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was feeling like gravy. It was a reoccurrence of my big toe gout, the affliction that first perpetrated itself on me when you and I just started doing the podcast at that point, or maybe a year in or whatever. What was it, like 7 years ago, had to be. And I got to gout. I got gouted. You remember this.
I don't know if I was your co-host yet when you got gouted.
You had to be. Has it been that long ago?
I don't know. You complain about so much. How am I supposed to remember one thing years ago?
What do you mean complain about? I never complain about anything. I'm pretty goddamn copacetic with everything that goes on. I have no strong opinions. But I will explain to the people out there that don't know what gout is or have only seen it as a comedy prop in a silent movie. Gout is an excess of uric acid that builds up in a joint in your body, usually the big toe, but some people can have it, and I hear now from the doctors, in various other joints in their body. And it is the most incredibly painful thing for suddenly and absolutely no apparent visual reason that you've ever experienced in your life. And like I said, by late afternoon, just from this coming on, the bone that your big toe connects to the foot, right? And the foot connects to the ankle. You know where it goes from there.
I've heard the song.
Yeah. Would you like me to sing it? Here it goes. No, I'm kidding. So that bone feels like that somebody has hit it with a hammer, and it is the deepest bruised of a bone you could possibly imagine. Plus, the foot starts puffing up. It starts swelling up right around that area. Plus, once that you've got the sore part going on from the bone bruise, then the intermittent stabbing pain that cycles in and out every 2 or 3 minutes that feels like somebody is taking that afflicted area and squeezing it with a pair of pliers begins. And again, it's for no visual reason. I couldn't even have worked out in the yard. This might have happened. It just came up last time for no reason. It happens like that. And the onset is quick. And this is some fucking, like I said, some KGB shit, or some shit that they should be using on our side of the government. They'll tell the terrorist, hey, if you don't tell us what we want to know, we're going to give you gout. And they'll spill their fucking guts, right? Because it's ridiculous. So, and you can't touch this part of your body that now is a flaming mass of pain, because as they describe it, the uric acid buildup causes crystals to form in your capillaries or your bloodstream or whatever. It's like shards of little glass revolving around in there, which is why your foot's turning red on the outside. It's inflamed. So, fuck. Well, now it's too late to call my regular doctor, and I can't go to the urgent care because Stacy's already in Versailles, and I can't drive because that's my driving foot. So I tell her, I said, fuck, I'll call you in the morning. Unless this gets better, I'm gobbling a bunch of Bayer back and body pills, right? Well, that didn't work. So the next morning, she gets up early, so she's coming back over here to take me. I get up and I call the doctor right at 9 o'clock. And as a doctor, give me the news. Can you give me an appointment to give me the anti-gout, super duper anti-inflammatory shit they gave me last time? Well, they say, oh, we'll be glad to see you either in person or by televisit. Great. At 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. I said, it's 9 a.m. this morning. You expect me to sit here with these fucking gremlins, these invisible gremlins, jackhammering on a goddamn bone in my foot for 24 more hours? Fuck you, no, thank you. I will take my business elsewhere. So I go to the urgent care as soon as Stace gets back. She runs me over here. And instantly, I mean, this is not a, a diagnosis for fucking house, right? Where they go, oh, we got to do a bunch of tests. I took my sock off and he said, yeah, prednisone, the steroid, and naproxen, the anti-inflammatory. Now, again, it would have been wonderful if, if they could just say, hey, my doctor had just said, hey, we know what it is. We'll just call this into the pharmacy, because I explained to them the same thing on the fucking phone, but no, I have to go all the way over here. Anyway, so the freaky part about this is I've been up all night practically with this fucking turning over and for no reason and whatever the case. And I'm hobbling. I'm walking to walk. I was walking on the right side of my foot because like ice, air, nothing can touch that other part. And as soon as they give you this fucking medicine, within 2 hours, it starts feeling better. And that yesterday evening, it was significantly better. And now this morning, I can't bend the toe. It's still a little puffy. I ain't going to be mashing around on it, but I can actually walk, stepping easily. And if this was an injury with that kind of pain and swelling, it would be 3 weeks, because I've had those too. It'd be 3 weeks or more. It would still be sore, whatever. But this shit goes away as quickly as it comes. That's why I have a feeling that I'm being targeted by some high science fiction tech level. Possibly it's radio waves through the air. It's causing this, because when I'm going to these doctors, Brian, I'm getting conflicting information. I think they're part of it. So I'm going to sue the federal government, the KGB, all of the doctors that I've seen in the last year or so, and Raka Khan for doing it. Because here's the thing. You know what they said that causes this gout? I've got like a telephone book size package here.
I had no idea you were an alcoholic.
No, what? No, quit. Stop it. Wait a minute. This is the minute. What are the causes? Too much uric acid. It's either that your kidneys do not remove enough uric acid, your body makes too much uric acid, or you eat too many foods that are high.
You've eaten a few feuds in your time.
Yeah, I've eaten, but foods that are high in purines that turn into uric acid. And I don't have many of the risk factors. I haven't had an organ transplant. Have not gone through menopause as of yet. I am male and middle-aged. I've had no lead poisoning. I'm not morbidly obese. I don't have psoriasis. But nevertheless, hold on. Let me flip by the.
I'm curious, though. You took the medication. This is the second time, and it kind of went away right away. I've actually known a few people who had gout. Now, as I alluded to earlier, these were men that enjoyed their drink, and they got gout. They had it for a while. They were seeing doctors. It didn't go away. Why is it going away so quickly for you?
Well, because I've only got a bit of the monkey on my back. See, I only get a bit of the gout, but I don't want to get a lot of the gout, because I used to get a little gout, but then a little didn't get it, so a little got more, and more is not something I want to be saying here, see? That's why I said, give me the information on this shit, right? Well, once every 7 years I might can deal with, and but I don't want it to get worse. So here's what you need to do to avoid future gout attacks. Eat a low purine diet. Avoid the following things: liver, kidney, anchovies, asparagus, herring. So far, I'm thinking this is a fucking breeze, right? I have no problem following this fucking diet. I don't think I've ever eaten any of these things in my life.
You don't like asparagus?
Asparagus makes your piss smell foul and disgusting, even to your own self, and I refuse to allow it in my bloodstream.
Why is that the reason, though? It's healthy.
It wakes
it's good for
me
you.
up in the middle of the night.
The pee wakes you up? Where are you peeing? You just peeing up in the air?
No, I'm in the bathroom, but over the years, I've trained myself to be able to go and do a normal function like peeing without jarring myself from my somnambulism. But you get a whiff of that fucking putrid smell, and it ruins your goddamn sleep cycle. Now,
well, I'm glad your normal pee doesn't wake you up.
Well, no, because that's, you know where you're going, you know what you're doing. That's just fucking reflex. You can do, you've heard the saying, you can do that in your sleep. There was that one time that, well, nevertheless, but moving on with the list, and then they come to mushrooms, and I'm like, all right, I like mushrooms.
Yeah.
But I can live without the mushrooms, right? If that's what it takes. That's not a deal breaker. And then mussels, not the kind that you flex, but the kind you snap open the shell and get the mussels out. I don't eat mussels either. And the last thing it says here is beer. Well, I don't drink beer. So I'm thinking, well, what the fuck? This is not even a big deal. And then it says, limit your alcohol, which I, again, barely drink any type of alcohol at all. Boom. So I'm thinking, okay, well, that was the general information. Now they get, what are tips for following the low purine eating plan? And then it starts to get a little bit more specific. Now, they say that these do not need to be limited, these foods. Fruits, vegetables, pickles, olives, breads, pasta, rice, cornbread, popcorn, cake, and other baked goods, dairy foods, eggs, nuts, nut butters, spices and condiments, salts, herbs, vinegar, plant oils, butter, margarine, sugar-free soft drinks, all of this stuff, vegetable-based broths, sauces, and gravies. Now, here's the problem where we're starting to get into here, as you'll see in a second.
Sounds good.
Remember about a month or a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago, when I went and had my colon cleaned out and inspected, put up on the rack, probed around. They took pictures. We had a real estate guy in do a appraisal. They told me at the time, remember I detailed here, and you can find it on YouTube, folks, if you'd like to hear about the examination of Jim Cornette's asshole from a first-person perspective. It's on the official Jim Cornette YouTube channel. But I spent 2 days not eating any solid food and drinking this foul tasting, disreputable liquid concoction filled with who and God knows what that they told me to mix. It was in this shit they told me to mix up and shit like a drunken goose. And then they put me to sleep with the propofol.
Drunken goose.
And they probed around with whatever. They took pictures while they were in there. I know they showed them to me. They offered me wallet size, but I declined. And their evaluation after that was, you need more fiber. Or it was fiber. You need more fiber. Farber is your guy over at CNBC. You need more fiber. I said, you fucking think? For 2 days, I haven't had a bite to eat. I've been drinking fucking 10W40 motor oil. I ain't enough friction in there to light a fucking match. So they said, eat more fiber. And they told me to avoid a lot of the things that I just read off to you, such as especially the stuff with the fat and the sugar and the baked goods and the breads and the cornbread and a lot of dairy. And oh no, you need to limit that. Well, they're saying now, for the sake of my fucking toe, I should eat all that. And then it says, now this is stuff that's moderate in what causes gout and should be limited to amounts listed. And again, they got, well, you should only have a half cup of asparagus, cauliflower, spinach, mushrooms, or green peas each day. Well, except for the mushrooms, that wouldn't be hard again. And you can have 2/3 of a cup of uncooked oatmeal. I don't know why you would do that. Or 1/4 cup dry wheat bran or wheat germ each day. I've never eaten anything with germ in its actual name.
That's what Austin Idol does. Austin Idol had me try it even. He gets like a bunch of wheat bran and just pours it in water and just quickly like mixes it all around, then just tries to gulp it down. He does it. He says he's been doing it for years, but years ago I tried it and it was an acquired taste. We'll say that.
But then here, listen to this. 2 to 3 ounces of meat or poultry each day. 2 to 3 ounces each day of meat or poultry. That's 2 chicken nuggets or a goddamn White Castle slider, is it not? Is this for a normal adult human being? Remember, what was it, 4 years ago, at time I did that death march to New York for 3 days of MLW taping in a row. Court Bauer tried to murder me. I got 2 hours of sleep each night. I counted up at the end of the 7 days on the road there and back. Not only did I lose my voice for 2 weeks, but I had consumed in 7 days 9 pounds of fried hamburger meat. Much of it coming from a microwave oven in a hotel room after it had been put in the mini fridge after a trip 2 days beforehand to McDonald's to stock up. But I digress. So you can have 4 to 6 ounces of shellfish such as crab, lobster, oysters, or shrimp each day. Well, 4 to 6 ounces is a little better, but remember when I needed more fiber and they gave me the thing to concentrate on my diet, limit red meat. And I told you on the show here, I was going to try to limit red meat for the first time in my life. And I've been limiting the red meat. And they say eat more seafood. You know what kind of seafood I like, Brian? My favorite, I like all seafood almost. I'm not going to eat any
no mussels,
no raw oysters. But although I do like most all seafood, my 2 favorite things are cod and scallops. And I've been eating tons of cod and scallops. Guess what it says is in the not recommended foods? Cod and scallops. So, and then again, you can also have a cup of cooked beans, peas, or lentils each day. But the point is, the ass people, the colon people that went in the other direction, they told me one thing. And now these gout people, and they said, don't eat bacon. How can you live and not eat bacon? And I'm also not supposed to eat wild game or goose. I think that probably won't be a problem.
This is all just so you don't get this once every 7 years?
Well, I don't want it to get worse. So I'm trying to control this now, because some people, as you said, do have it worse.
So are you going to cut down on cod and
well, I guess scallops? I gotta cut the cod.
So what are you going to increase?
And lop the scallops.
What are you going to eat more of if you're cutting back on those?
Nobody has mentioned catfish yet. So I'm going to be safe. I'm going with the catfish from now on. All right. God damn it. Anyway, so I'm feeling better today. But I think it's a plot. And I think you could actually make that some kind of interrogation technique in the military. We will inject you with this fucking uric acid in your big toe. And in 12 hours, we can give you this fucking pill that cost with my insurance $4. I would have given a motherfucker $5,000 if he'd come over here at 11 o'clock fucking Monday night. Or what was it? Yes, Monday night with this fucking anti-inflammatory. And it costs $4 with a prescription. And within hours, it'll be good. That's what they'll tell them. Well, you're going to have this gout until you tell us what we want to know, and then you can have the naproxen. Everything will be fine.